Hello everyone at Cymatic TV. Welcome to your midweek energy update. I was supposed to be doing it the weekend, but I've been so busy. It's been absolutely brilliant. The sun has not been busy, by the way, though. And we also went through that lunar eclipse. I'm just adjusting it to try and keep the wind out of it. We also had that lunar eclipse as well that came out on Saturday, or came through on Saturday. And that was connecting the crown and the root chakra, crown and the heart chakra. We'll be going into that a little bit. We'll also be going into the corona holes and the changing seasons of the sun. So without further ado, let's just get into that.
Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality.
So as you can see here on the sun, there is, starts off the beginning part of the week, going from the 20th, because I didn't do one on Sunday, going from the 20th, if you can see, there's not a great deal going on the sun actually. It's very calm. The most notable thing, I think, more than anything else, has been the increase of filament energies. Now there is a lot of filaments that's straddling the equator of the sun, and we're entering into that autumn period, so it's a little bit like those blustery showers of autumn or springtime that we'd experience here on Earth. And this is what the energy is all about as well. It is that changing time for a bit of a spring clean, as anyone's been watching the astro flower. And also it's a time for sort of adjustments and rearranging and sorting out what we ideally want to be doing, getting a real clarity on things. The filament energies are emotional driven energies, water driven energies. So if you've got water in your sign, you can find that out on the astro flower. It'll probably be affecting you over the next 6 months to a year, because those are the changing seasons. They last a long time on the Earth. A year for the on the sun, sorry. The year for the sun is approximately around about 11 years, between 10 and 11 years, basically 10.56 to be precise. And we go through these seasons where we have the height of the solar activity, then we have the change where it drops down to the low cycle, and then we have that changing and it goes back up to the height. And we are entering into those interchangeable times. The flip has already happened on the sun, where the sun is actually magnetically flipped. It does that regularly, once every 11 years, or sometimes once every 22 years. And that's all normal. That's all about sort of timing more than anything else. It's not necessarily pole shift, which we find on the Earth. And as we go into the changing between the height of the cycle, on the height of the cycle we get solar flares, and that's really bright, airy, fiery energy that's been coming through, and we've been having that over the past 18 months, and we've probably still got another 6 months to a year for that, and then these filament energies will really settle in as we come into the lower season. And the lower season is concerning the corona holes. Now that is Earth energy, and that's when we get on and do things basically. And we've seen a big corona hole that's come through this week as well, as you can well see on the sun here. And this triggers a lot of earthquakes on the Earth. And this gives us a good sign, one of those signs for the pole shift energy that's been coming through. And as you can well see on the earthquake maps here as I'm playing it through, gradually it's very concentrated. These are 4.5 Richter scale and above. They are very concentrated in certain areas. And as we go further on, and then when that corona hole hits on the 25th, 26th of October, it starts ringing out across the entire globe, all the chakras going at the same time. And then on the 28th, 29th, that's when it started parting. So then that's when they started dying down a bit. So now we're going to be getting back to those cluster earthquakes in certain areas around the globe, ringing particular chakras. We will be going into the chakra sequence and the earth messages at a church later on at the end of this video. So yeah, that's the changing energies. Now the thing that is going on at the moment, and a lot of people have been asking questions about this, is about the dropping out of energy, the fluctuation of the energy at the moment. And it's been a notable thing, I think, over the past sort of I would say over the past sort of 3 or 4 months more than anything else, where it's really hectic at times, where energy seems to be really busy and we seem to be getting a lot of things coming through, and we seem to be a lot more hectic. We seem to get a lot more sort of coincidences and stuff like that. A lot of that's been playing through, and then it just drops out. As you can well see on these KP index graphs here, the energy just dropping out, and that sort of makes us sort of feel like that we're dropping out at the same time, really, more than anything else. And this sort of energy, this sort of dropping out, is, I think, systematic to pole shift on the Earth. It's this pole shift energy that we're talking about. And what happens is as the magnetic field of the Earth shrinks, or not shrinks, we're losing magnetic field of the Earth. We've lost huge amounts of the magnetic field of the Earth since 1859. And it doesn't just flip like that. That's not how it goes. It sort of goes into the center and pops out the other side. So it reduces on all the scales. And as it does reduce, any sort of fluctuations within the space weather that is around the Earth, we will feel, and you will feel. But this is a little bit like those waves that you may well see behind me just there. It can be sort of consistent, really. There is a rhythm within it, very short term. So you may notice that if you get a wave of tiredness around you, or if you just get a wave of anxiety, you know the energy is picking up or dropping out. And therefore you can adjust your life accordingly of what you're doing in your day to sort of compensate for that. So you're not trying to push against the flow, because that is going to be the easiest way to get things done in life, and also to avoid any sort of complications, mental issues, sort of problems that anybody might be having. It would also help with your sleep problems as well, because a lot of people have been sort of asking me about that, and there's various techniques about sort of falling to sleep. But one of the main things is having the consistency within you and realizing that you shouldn't take on too much. Don't try and do too much in a day. Do what you need to do and what you can do. Because if you do what you can do, then by the time you go to sleep, it's a lot easier for you to calm down your mind. After that, a type of meditation for the end of the day, just to see what you've been doing all day, what you haven't done all day, everything like that. See the beautiful things that are around you in that moment, and then just sort of allow that soap bubble that sort of drifts down you and goes down to your feet and just takes the energy away from your crown chakra and brings it more down into your root chakra, and that sort of makes things slow down, as I'm doing at the moment. So this is the fluctuating energies. It may not necessarily be you, but it's certainly happening within the world at the moment, and this should be taken into account when you're working with energy, or when you're actually just living life and sort of having anxiety or moments of just not wanting to do anything sort of scenario, because that's all to do with pole shift, really, more than anything else. So yeah, there has been an uptick that's coming around. There's more solar flares that will be coming back, and we will be experiencing that over the next 6 months to a year as we really get fully into the filament energies, and then they'll be around us and they'll be the main activity for 6 months, and then the corona holes will be coming more and more as we've just seen. So yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. That is the main thing, more than anything. Just take it easy. Please do enjoy. We're going to go and get a message. We're going to come off this lovely beach here with some amazing skylines going on. I'm on the south coast at the moment. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, we're going to be going over to a lovely church, and we're going to be picking up the chakra sequencing and also the message from the Earth. As you can well see, we've just come to this lovely church here, this beautiful churchyard. We're down by the beach, not too far from the beach. In fact, it's just behind me. So we've come up here. We're on a mail line. Lots of squirrels about climbing around the trees, and they've got a lot of seagulls. What a surprise, being down by the beach. So let's just get into the chakra sequencing. What's going on this week here? There we go. We've got the first connection there. Go straight down into the root. That's interesting. Then it comes up through the sacrum. Not very strong, got to be said. And then we're up into the heart, and the throat. More the throat than the heart, it's got to be said, because there's the third eye as well. And these two play together, the third eye and the throat chakra. And there's the solar plexus. And we're into the crown. And our heart is coming through now. Back down to the root and the solar plexus. And then back out to the middle. That ties in with the eclipses. The eclipse was from the sacrum to the root chakra, and this time it was from the lunar eclipse, was going from the heart to the crown chakra. So it's connecting our root sort of desires. That's the root and the sacrum, and that was on the solar eclipse. Much more powerful than the lunar eclipse, it's got to be said. And the lunar eclipse was all about sort of connecting the heart to the throat, so connecting the heart and mind. So any invaders, they've been talking about sort of hearts and minds and stuff like that, haven't they? You know, maybe we just need to get the heart and the mind of the collective more than anything else. Let's just get back and connect with that now. Just get a message from the earth. That's right, we're fully unconnected. It's very solid, this earth, or this male line that I'm standing on. Do you have a message for us for this week? Walk away. It's showing me like walking down a pathway that goes down a valley between two hills or two mountains on both sides, and the sun shines at the end of that valley, and we're walking towards it, a little bit like the Ten of Cups. I'll show you the Ten of Cups at some point. It's a little bit like that, and I think it's basically sort of saying walk away from a world that they think they have power over you, have power over me, and have power over the environment, have power over everything that happens. They don't. No one does. That's the thing. And the more we try and control it, it's a bit like Darth Vader when he was, on the Death Star, and he was with Princess Leia. And she says, the more that you tighten your grip around solar systems, the more you'll find that solar systems and galaxies slip between your fingers, just to the day you open your hand and you realize you have nothing in your hand. You control nothing. So walk away from it. Walk away and walk towards enjoying life. I think that's the message more than anything else. There you go. Thank you very much for being here on Cymatic TV. Thank you very much for sharing, caring, and all of those malarkeys. Don't forget, in the meantime, life should be fun. So please do enjoy. And don't believe, just know.